Welcome, everybody, to Blockbuster Mentality, the show where we dive deep into the world of cinema. I'm your host, Ben Secord.
And I'm Davo.
And today we will be diving deep into the 1993 comedy classic Groundhog Day, starring Bill Murray.
Absolute classic.
Yes. Classic indeed. It was in my top 5 films in the 90s.
Yeah.
I was happy I put it in there. I'm glad we're doing a Bill Murray movie, a comedy. Well, I guess last week we did a comedy, Dr. Strangelove. That's
So more of a weird comedy.
yeah, it's more of a dark comedy. But yeah, Groundhog Day, directed by Harold Ramis. Like I said, starring Bill Murray, Andy McDowell. We got Chris Elliott in it, Stephen Tobolowsky, and yeah, that's pretty much the
Bill Murray's brother, Brian.
What?
Yeah, the announcer guy with that voice.
That's
Bill Murray's brother.
Really?
Brother
So the guy
yeah.
that like pulls out the groundhog
Yeah.
and stuff? Interesting.
Seer of Sears.
Interesting.
That's,
Okay.
That's Bill Murray's brother. So how many times have you seen this movie?
I mean, countless amounts.
10, 20, 30?
Honestly, yeah, 20, at least 20 times.
Probably for me too. And I saw it when I was of age, I guess, when it came out in 1993. I guess, I was a kid. I saw it many times after that, probably 10, 20 times. But I haven't seen it since maybe 10 years.
Really?
5 years, maybe. It's been a while. But so this was almost like just approaching it again.
Yeah.
And I love how it's amazing how movies are when you see, you perceive them differently at different times of your life.
Right.
Even, whatever mood you're in. And this one, I love this movie all over again.
Yeah, no, it's great. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely one I probably, for a while I was watching it once a year. Probably now, maybe every 2 years or so. But yeah, it's definitely one you revisit. But yeah, it's interesting you say that. Yeah, you definitely see it differently when you see it when you're younger, and now watching it, for the show, it's like, wow, there's some deep elements to it, and it's not. I mean, it was, hilarious as always. Bill Murray's he's one of my favorite comedic actors.
Oh yeah, without question.
But yeah, I mean, it's still got that darkness to it. It's not as satire-y as I remember. It's
there's actually a lot of depth to this movie, but it's light as well.
Yeah.
So it's a great mix. It's just really good in that way, where it's not too heavy, it's funny. It's really good, but also it almost feels like a holiday movie, but it's not.
yeah.
Did you get that?
Yeah, I mean, technically, I guess
February
Groundhog
2nd,
Day, is a holiday,
But almost
No,
like a Christmas movie
Right, yeah.
without being a Christmas movie.
yeah, I could see watching it around Christmas time, and
Yeah.
I think it's it's a winter movie, so I think that might be why it has that feel.
When do you think they released this thing? It had to be winter, right?
I think it was,
Or was it a Christmas movie?
No, I think it was actually
Like 4 February?
No, I think it was released near Groundhog Day. Let's see here.
Who cares though about
Nobody. It was released February 12th, 1993. 1993. So yeah, I mean, this movie's 24 years old now. Again, like I said, it was directed by Harold Ramis. Are you Harold Ramis guy?
Yeah, I like him as an actor.
Yeah.
Anything he's in, his little cameos. He's got a cameo in this movie, which I like. Just directing stuff. I mean, Caddyshack, the Analyze movies we were talking about. Even, unfortunately, he's passed. But even a recent movie, Year One. Do you like that movie with Jack Black and Michael?
It had its moments.
I like that movie a lot, actually. I like that movie probably more than I should like.
Interesting.
Yeah,
okay.
I really
yeah,
like that
I mean, it was on like HBO or something at some point, and that's how I watched it. And,
I've seen that one like 5 times. I like it every time.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I've just seen bits and pieces, actually. I don't think I've watched the whole thing all the way through, but okay, Year One.
Yeah, well, I like Harold Ramis. He's written a lot of movies,
Yeah. Obviously, he was starred in Ghostbusters.
I think he wrote Ghostbusters as well.
Yeah. Yeah, he's the writer.
It's not quite the catalog. Stripes and was it Meatballs 2, I think? Both of the Meatballs movies, maybe.
Yeah.
So he's got, a lot. But I like him a lot, and he's got a good touch. So well done by him. One thing also he did in this movie was just the technique of doing the time loop thing.
Yeah.
And it probably wasn't the first time it was ever done, but maybe he popularized it, is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I mean, when you... Yeah, I would assume so. I mean, I'm sure it's been done before this movie, but yeah, this is the movie
for a mass audience.
Yeah.
Maybe one of the first times.
Right, yeah, for a mass audience, and it's a movie that now that you compare other movies who do this sort of thing too. Did you see that Tom Cruise movie?
Yeah, Live, Die, Repeat.
Yeah, Live, Die, Repeat. It's actually called something.
Edge of Tomorrow.
Edge of Tomorrow. Thank you.
They changed the name because people weren't figuring out. I think what does Edge of Tomorrow mean?
Yeah,
they call it Live, Die, Repeat.
Yeah. Oh, so they didn't sell it as that kind of movie?
I think it originally came out as Edge of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then it got marketed, I think, maybe on disc or Blu-ray as Live, Die, Repeat.
Yeah, I like that movie.
Me too.
But yeah, I mean, it's like an action Groundhog Day. So I mean, you compare it to Groundhog Day.
That's true. Well, 50 First Dates is almost like that. With
that's true.
It doesn't necessarily do scene by scene, but it's day by day. Same,
Yeah, it's not like the same day over and over, but to her it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's like a perspective type thing.
There's got to be just others. I'm just grasping here, but I know there are others that do this thing. But I like the way he does it here because he'll show you the whole scene, and then the way it's edited is perfect. Right. It gives you just enough information for what you need each time around.
Yeah, his direction is great in this. I mean, it's brilliant because you know the exact same scenes happening because he does the same camera movement and everything. Like especially when they're in the diner when he's saying, I imagine myself living in the mountains one day.
Right.
And he does the same pan through, before they get to them at the table. So okay, this is just the exact same thing again. So yeah, those tricks are great. So I'm sure people have learned from him, who've, repeated this type of premise in a movie.
But in watching it too, you also internalize. You end up knowing the dialogue and the stuff that happens so well because of its. If you watch a movie a lot, and the scenes themselves can be repetitive, so you're there doing it too in a way.
Yeah, and it never feels tiring.
No, it really doesn't.
It's just it just keeps going. But you're like, okay, what's he gonna do now though? What's he like? And I like the subtle differences he does in the way he says sentences and things.
Yeah.
Obviously Bill Murray. So I mean, real quick, the IMDb synopsis for the film is: a weatherman finds himself inexplicably living the same day over and over again. So yeah, if you haven't seen this movie,
you got to see it. If you have any love for Bill Murray or just comedies or just good movies, you have to see this. This should be on everyone's list. If you have a list of things you want to get through, this one has to be on it.
Yeah, and not only Bill Murray movies. I mean, it's just I think it's a movie you must see before you die. It's one of falls in that category.
Yeah, I'd agree. This isn't a long watch either. I think an hour and 40 minutes.
Yeah, an hour and 40. For some reason, when I went to watch it for the show, I was like, this might be a 2 hour and 15-minute movie. But when I saw it was an hour and 45 minutes, I was like, oh, neat. And the time, it flies by. It's just I almost wanted more from the movie, but
I do appreciate that. I appreciate telling a good story quickly.
Yeah,
and not dragging out.
Yeah, really, seriously.
The more we do this, and the more movies we watch, and really with an eye for critique. Length becomes a real issue with me, whereas before I didn't care. Right. I was almost proud of it was a 3-hour movie and I loved it. And
I love a 3-hour movie. It's almost like a pretentious thing.
Yeah, I'm I have the attention span to sit there and actually go through it. Whereas someone who's stupid, that maybe they don't have the mental capacity to sit through such a long movie.
Right.
But it depends on the material. Maybe Lord of the Rings, I know people, but. There's a lot of material there, and I think it's all good. Maybe not the extended versions, but you've got a story. This is again back to Dunkirk. Wrap it up.
Yeah.
Take out the stuff that doesn't matter. So
definitely. Yeah.
This one, like you said, it leaves you wanting more, which is even better than if he had given you that 15 minutes extra. Or whatever.
Absolutely. Yeah. There's no fluff. There's no filler. It's just it all has to do with the story. And a 3-hour movie can have stuff where it gets cut out, but a really good 3-hour movie has things where it didn't feel like 3 hours.
Right. There's no unnecessary side plots. Yeah. Like that.
Definitely. So yeah, I mean, obviously we're big Bill Murray guys. So I mean, this is our kind of where we talk about the casting and performances, things like that. And so obviously we talked about Harold Ramis as the director, and he had a little part as the doctor in the movie. And then Bill Murray. I mean, Bill Murray is he's phenomenal. I mean, he's got to be one of my favorite celebrities, maybe top 5 celebrities of all time. I mean, he's just.
Oh, me too. If I could meet someone, it would probably be Bill Murray, and if I could be someone, it would probably be Bill Murray.
Just the stories you hear about him, and crashing weddings and crashing parties, and just showing up. I like when people use their star power in not like a stuck up way, but in like a fun way. It's like, I know these people will enjoy this, so I'm gonna do it for them.
Just a couple of weeks ago, he showed up for the musical of Groundhog Day.
I know.
And just walked in and sat there.
Yeah,
and I guess he was like moved by it.
I'm very intrigued by this musical. I want to see how they are able to pull this off, especially a same day over and over. Like, are they just keep? I wonder how that works. Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm gonna have to read up on that. But yeah, Bill Murray. I mean, he's perfect for this role. You couldn't ask for a better performance from him. He's got the comedy elements, but when this movie goes dark, which it does take a dark turn at some points. He is unbelievable, in a believable sense. He's believable, which is just unbelievable the way he was able to convey
so good,
that performance.
I guess you see in this movie, you see all sides of Bill Murray.
Yeah.
So you get in the beginning, I almost feel like you're getting like the Scrooged character, where he's like arrogant and condescending and a bit obnoxious, like he is in that movie. And then you get the funny stuff. He's animated in this movie, but then you get the depressed Bill Murray, where he's sitting there with a vacant look on his face, which you get more now that he's getting older. You get the whole range of Bill Murray in this movie.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, I mean, he's when you think of Bill Murray, honestly, I mean, I have a soft spot for What About Bob, but I mean, obviously, Groundhog Day is definitely my favorite Bill Murray movie. Wait, is this your favorite Bill Murray movie?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, other than, I don't know, I like all his recent stuff. Honestly, I love Lost in Translation. I like what he does, but I think maybe I'm not a Sofia Coppola fan, because I felt like there's a lot of stuff in that movie. Not a lot of content in that movie, but
a lot of style over substance.
Yeah, but
which is typical with her.
I love Life Aquatic with him. That's one of his best performances.
Him when he teams up with Wes Anderson, it's unbelievable.
This is probably the best Bill Murray
movie. Yeah, I'd have to say so too. But yeah, like you said, the later work, I do like his later work, because it's not, You
see St. Vincent?
Yes, I did. I like that.
It's a nice little movie.
If it wasn't for him, I might not like it. Yeah. But yeah, I just love when he plays that kind of character.
I think we're just biased. I'd watch Bill Murray walk down the street for 2
hours. It's true. It's true. And I just said, actually, just recently, I saw it was like the 23rd or 24th anniversary of David Letterman, and he was the first guest on David Letterman.
Oh, really?
So I saw a picture of that, and he like spray painted his Dave on his desk and stuff. It's like he's a classic guy.
He seems like an amazing human being.
I want to hang out with him. And then just real quickly, I mean, obviously we got to talk about his co-star, his love interest in the film, Andie MacDowell. His love interest, the producer in their little weatherman team, their meteorologist team. What did you think of Andie MacDowell?
I thought she was really good. She's kind of a stronger woman. She's not impressed by him at all.
Yeah,
he kind of has to prove himself to her, and she's just kind of her own human being.
Yeah,
and she doesn't fall prey to his stupid tricks.
Yeah.
And I thought she just did that very well. She's a good counterpart to him.
No, I agree.
I'm not really a big fan of hers in general, other than this, I guess. I don't really...
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to... I mean, I know she's been in Sex, Lies, and Videotape, and... Yeah, I mean, she's whatever, but
yeah.
But in this movie, she worked.
She did well.
She's I think they had good chemistry together, and
she was shot well. She's glowing in a lot of scenes. She has like a warmth about her, but also like a distance.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
good job by her.
Agreed. And then Chris Elliott, just
prima donnas.
Yeah, he said that like 6 times,
I think
7
that's basically his contribution to the movie. It's funny too. When I saw this when I was a kid, I didn't know what that meant.
Oh yeah,
and I thought you were talking about Madonna.
Yeah, that's exactly. I was like, oh, that phrase definitely came from Madonna. Okay,
yeah.
So like, she act like that. And
he's trying to be like Madonna in some weird way. I don't know why.
But yeah, I think he was just a good accent to the film. A good little character, and he's obviously a '90s actor. So he's in a lot of '90s films. And
then How I Met Your Mother was a father in that. I don't know if you watched that show.
Yeah.
Lily's dad.
Everybody Loves Raymond. He was in.
Yeah.
It was
Ray Romano.
Yeah,
that's me.
That's you.
I don't know about that.
So yeah, I mean, those are the main 3 actors. Then obviously, as you already mentioned, Bill Murray's brother, who I had no idea was his brother. Now that you say that, now I look at him, maybe I did hear that at some point, but totally slipped my mind. And then Stephen Tobolowsky.
Phil Connors? I thought that was you.
Bing!
Yeah, he's another actor, a character actor who just, is
I don't think I saw him. He was the first. Oh, I'm sorry. His first appearance that I know of him is this movie. So subsequent appearances of this. Although he was in a Seinfeld episode as Tor. He had that. He was like a healer.
Oh.
Or then George ends up like looking like an eggplant because he drank the tea because with the tonsils.
Oh yeah! Wow. Okay.
And then he was in Silicon Valley.
And also he was in a more serious movie. He was in Memento. He was Steve Jenkins or whatever the name was. Sammy Jenkins.
Why can't I remember
in Memento?
him?
He was basically what Guy Pearce kept looking back on the story of this guy who had. Memory loss, and his wife kept giving him he kept having to give his wife a shot. It was
blanking on it.
It was the black and white parts, but anyways, yeah, he was in that.
I've only seen Memento once, but I definitely need to see it again if I can't remember.
Yes, see that again. All right, so yeah, I mean that's the casting, directing, performances segment of the show. So let's get into our Take 6.
Take 6,
where we give our 6 favorite moments of the film.
Yes, I want to kick this thing off with the bowling and runaway scene.
Oh, yes.
So what happens is basically Bill Murray starts realizing he's in this loop of waking up at 6 a.m. in the morning on February 2nd on Groundhog Day over and over and over again, and he's just ticked off, right? So he ends up in the bowling alley with a couple of drunks, and he's like, well, what am I going to do? He's like, well, what would you do if there are no consequences? And these guys were like, we'll go do whatever. I don't know. So they decide they're going to go take a drive. Two of the guys are too drunk. And I love this one actor. He's in The Burbs. I don't know his name.
Yep.
The guy's hilarious.
Yeah, he's great. Yeah, he was in a lot of 80s, 90s movies. Yep.
He was like, friends don't let friends drive.
Friends don't let... Some people will look at this glass and say it's half empty. I bet you is a glass half empty kind of guy. Yeah, he's great. I like him.
So Bill Murray, like, his depression is setting in.
Yep.
And then he gets behind the wheel and he's like... It's like sort of like the rebellion phase of the movie.
Yeah, he's like, okay, I'm living the same day over and over. I'm just going to do whatever I want.
Because obviously, I keep waking up in this bed, to the same Sonny and Cher.
Yep, I got you, babe.
So who cares now, right?
Right.
So he just starts running over mailboxes, going crazy. I just love it. Or they're going on the railroad tracks, and he's like trying to. And all the little lines in this movie are great. They're like, "Dude, you gotta move," and he's like, "No, I'm betting the train's gonna swerve first."
Yeah, I think the train will swerve first, and the guys, I could go for some flapjacks right now.
They get pulled over, and the cop, and then Bill Murray just does he tries to place an order with the cop. He's like, yeah, I'll have 3 cheeseburgers. And the other guy's like, what about flapjacks? And then Bill Murray looks at the cop. He's like, is it too late for flapjacks?
Yeah,
he ends up in jail.
Yep, ends up in jail. He wakes up and
the next morning he's elated.
Yeah,
it's like there are no consequences. Yeah. I proved it.
Yep. And then, and what I like about that too is when they're actually in the bowling alley. Obviously, the half glass is empty. Thing. But yeah, I like how he's like contemplating, I had this day in the Virgin Islands where I met this girl and we had pina coladas and had dinner together and made love. Why couldn't I live that day over and over and over? So he's contemplating about that day. Yeah,
because he hates. He's like, I'm stuck here.
Yeah,
and we know in the beginning that this is a town that he absolutely hates. He does not. He's more of like a city guy, I guess they're in Pittsburgh, which isn't like New York or whatever, but he likes the city. He doesn't want to be in Punxsutawney and Pennsylvania. He's like calling them hicks, I think, at one point.
And like Chris Elliott always says, he's a prima donna.
He kind of is.
He's kind of cocky.
He's just like Madonna.
Yep, he's arrogant. He's just like Madonna. But yeah, I love that whole scene. But yeah, that's when it gets into his screw it phase. He's like, all right.
Well, I'm here, and
do whatever I want. So I love this. You know, that's kind of right after that is when he's got that. He's at the diner and he's got that table full of food. He's got the donuts.
What does it matter if I eat all this today?
Well, whatever.
I feel like crap. I'll be fine tomorrow.
Yep. And Rita, Andy McDowell's character is like, you know, aren't you scared of, you know, heart disease, lung cancer, because he's just smoking cigarettes and stuff in his face.
He's completely like gorging himself, and he's like ordering the whole restaurant.
Love when he stuffs the cake in his mouth and she's like looking at him. And he's like, "Whoa!" He just talks with his mouth full.
So funny.
Yeah, I love that. But yeah, I love his effort phase in this movie. It's great.
Yeah, he's just rebelling against the world. He's like, I'm not going to play by your rules anymore.
I mean, it's really what any of us would do when we were in that situation. It's like, all right, I'm just going to do whatever I want. Yeah. Like, why not? And then, you know, he goes on to, you know, learn about this Nancy girl. He asks her what high school she goes to, and basically only to, you know, basically have sex with her. And
he works that.
Yep, works it. And,
Sure
he meets her the next day. He's like, "Oh, you went to this high school? Oh, we know each other." And you know, she thinks he, you know, is great just because of that. But yeah, love that whole sequence. So what do we have for our number 2?
Number 2 is the Phil and Rita dancing in the gazebo.
Beautiful.
While Ray Charles, You Don't Know Me, is playing, and the snow's falling. This is great. So Phil decides he's gonna, instead of doing little petty things like the girl we just talked about, he's like, I just want to get Rita. So he goes to this whole thing of trying to find out all this information about her, and it works sort of. It's a nice scene. They're throwing snowballs, they fall in the snow, and then they're dancing. It's a beautiful bit. And what I like about it is not only is it just a nice, great scene, but it's also kind of a turning point in the movie because it feels like he's getting the girl, and then the movie's gonna, you know, move on from that. But then it takes a turn because it goes further. They get back to his house or his hotel room, and it just doesn't work. It never works. He's going about it. The lesson is he's going about this the wrong way. He's trying to be what he thinks Rita wants,
right?
Which is a man that I don't know. He says weird things like toasting to world peace, saying a prayer, or speaking French poetry.
I love that. Well, because he gets her drink. He finds out what exactly drink he wants. He's like, all right, I got to come back the next day and do it again.
He basically does the same thing with the girl. He tries it on Rita, but in a longer game.
But yeah, because Rita she's a little less, she's a little more complicated than just, Nancy, who's just going to, we went to the same high school together. Okay, I'll sleep with you.
Right, exactly. She's that's the woman that you want, not the girl that you want for like one night. Or whatever.
Exactly.
But I just like that bit because it's really nice.
Yeah.
But then the movie just switches on you, and this path will fail for him. He can keep doing it forever, and it will not work.
Yep.
Trying to be something else or be the trying to mold yourself in that way, it will fail.
Because he essentially becomes the perfect man to her. He becomes her perfect man because
based on the information you can get from her.
Yeah, even when he finds out she went to school for French poetry, he comes back the next day when she says it again, and he just as soon as she says it, he recites this French poem in French.
It's such a great scene. He like pauses and ponders and looks up.
She's like, "You speak French?" Oui. Oui. I love that. And I'd like to say a prayer and drink to world peace. And then, she's like, I like that because that's what she said earlier. And then, he pauses before he takes the sip and he's like, amen.
And this is funny. Well, this is like we said earlier, or like I said earlier about the Ramis the director technique of showing take of the head. But imagine him actually going through it because this is, say, 5:00 in the afternoon. But in real time, he's got to wait for 5:00 in the afternoon. Yes. It's 24 more hours to try that again. He gets slapped in the face or rejected or whatever,
Yeah, that's why this starts getting so exhausting for him because, he's living the same day over and over. He's like, okay, I found this little tiny bit of piece of information. I have to go back and wake, fall asleep tonight and then wake up tomorrow, go through my daily routine before I can get to the evening where I can, do the stuff. Because, again, this is only one day to her.
Right.
So, you have to really impress this girl to really make her fall in love with you in one day, which is essentially what he's doing.
So, yeah, that was mine.
Yeah,
But
so
what this leads to...
Yeah, so I mean that's basically that bleeds into our number 3, which is the suicide phase. So yeah, I mean after all this, we have him trying to get Rita. The first scene with her is this long. You go through the whole day basically with them two, and you're like, oh man, this is really nice. The dancing with the gazebo, like you said, beautifully shot. And then that night ends with her slapping him. And then it's just like a slap montage. So I mean, slap, 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 slap. But it's like in different settings. So it's almost like, okay, so he's tried different things maybe a little bit. And,
it's not for lack of trying.
Yeah, it's definitely not for a lack of trying, indeed. So yeah, I mean, it's like a slap montage. And then...
which just leads him into just a deep depression because he feels like I've exhausted. I've done all I could for this woman and she still won't accept me.
Yep. Exactly. And then, so yeah, he's super depressed, and then he gets to the, where he's going to report for the Groundhog Day thing, and he steals the groundhog.
He just snaps.
Kidnaps Punxsutawney Phil. And... What's sorry. So yeah, he steals the groundhog, takes off in the truck. Everyone's following him.
It's another Bill Murray. Well, he hated the groundhog, but it's just Caddyshack, Groundhog. It's like a rivalry, which in this one becomes sort of a friendship.
Yeah, and I like what he said right before that. Right before he shows up that day, and he says to Rita, "I've come to the end of me, Rita. We had a beautiful day together once." And it's just like, man, this, she obviously has no idea what he's talking about, because
he's lost
just the same day. He's just like, man, this guy has gone off the deep end. So yeah, basically, they go on this chase scene. He's got Punxsutawney Phil, the groundhog, in the driver's seat, and he's even has him steering a little bit.
He's like, check your mirrors,
check your mirrors
to the side,
side of your eye. They get to this like I don't even know what it was,
like a ravine,
ravine type place, and then. Basically, I mean, long story short, he drives off the edge of the cliff, and the truck gets down there and explodes and everything. It's like, wow, he's gone. And then when he wakes up,
6 a.m. again.
6 a.m, he's awake again, and you can tell he's not happy. He wanted to kill himself. He wasn't just doing this as another way of just being like, oh, I'm just going to do this today, and I know I'll wake up tomorrow. He really wanted to kill himself there, because that's why when we get into this little montage here, he keeps trying to do it. He goes down to the kitchen in his bed and breakfast, grabs a toaster, brings it back upstairs, drops it in the bath with him.
It's so bad, but
dead.
It's pretty hilarious the way he ignores the B&B host, just grabs it.
Yep.
Turns it on. It's still got the bread in the toaster. He's sitting in the tub and just drops it.
God bless that B&B toast or B&B host. She went through a lot.
She's long suffering.
Yeah, she's a long suffering young woman.
Well, he dies in so many ways. I think
So yeah, the toaster. He jumps in front of a truck.
Yeah.
And then
hit by a bus.
Yeah. I think that. Yeah, bus truck. Yeah, I think that's.
Oh, sorry.
What it was.
Sorry.
And then jumping off the building. That with the music when he jumps off that building and you see him flipping, it's like, wow, this just took a dark turn.
And then we hear later he tells Rita, he said stabbed, shot, poisoned, hung, burned.
So yeah, what we saw isn't exactly what exactly
he went through a whole phase of just trying to off himself.
Man, and it's just like, because he doesn't get it. He's like, what do I have to do? Why am I living the same day over and over? It's just like, I tried to get the girl I wanted. I tried so many different ways. I can't get her. So like, what am I doing this for? And
imagine waking up and just feeling like I want to die.
Yeah.
I hate that I woke up.
Yeah. This is I can't do this anymore. And it's just so eventually he realizes suicide won't work. I mean, do you have anything else for this part?
It's just this movie gets dark for a bit there. And that is what you see more with the modern or more recent Bill Murray performances, where you see that depressed guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And this is him, and this gets bad for
a
little while.
Yeah, I think this is the first, the kind of darkness we see from Bill Murray in his career. It's quite interesting, but I love it. I mean, it's true. It's like,
it's not for very long though.
Yeah, no, not for very long at all. It doesn't take you out of the movie or anything. I think it adds to the movie and just the emotion of, like, it's almost real. Like, what if you were living the same day over and over? You
stuck in a place you hate. You feeling like you're stuck in any way. You feel like you've tried to get a girl, do whatever, do something productive, and none of it's work. It's like, I just can't do it anymore.
Yep. exactly. So yeah, I mean that basically leads us to our number 4, where he basically tells us tells Rita that he's some sort of god. He must be a god because he's living this day over and over again.
Right. Well, I guess it's like sort of I'm immortal.
Right.
Like I literally cannot die.
Mm-hmm.
So, what kind of person do you know can't die, or what kind of a thing that would be a god? Right.
Right.
I'm literally immortal. I cannot kill myself.
Yeah.
Cannot kill me. I know everyone. I know everyone's story.
Right.
He takes Rita around the restaurant, introducing her to all these people.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, he proves to her that, hey, I know this person. Tells them their life story, and then he tells her life story, which is a beautiful little moment. But yeah, essentially, he's just he's at a loss. It's like I can't kill myself. I can't win you over. So I'm just gonna tell you what's going on at this point. I've been living the same day over and over. He tries to he tried to tell her that at the beginning.
Yeah,
but
she didn't believe him.
Yeah, but now he's been in this day for so long that it's just like
this is another like F it phase.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it's just but like in
a different way though. Yeah,
definitely.
It's not rebelling. It's just like I've got nothing left. I've got no more fight in me, and I'm just here, and hey, I'm just gonna start telling the truth. Look, this is what I did. He's like let his guard down.
Right.
I don't know. I'm a god. What do you want from me? Here's what I'm going through. I don't know how else to say it other than just say it. I'm done like playing tricks or doing whatever.
Yeah, I mean it's almost like calling out for help in a way.
It's true.
It
is true. It is a cry for help.
Yeah, definitely. Just like when people who are suicidal and things like that and depressed, they throw out those signs for cries for help and stuff. He's
beyond suicidal.
Yeah.
In a way, because he cannot die.
Yeah, he can't die. He's tried.
It's something that's not even possible for a regular person. Beyond suicide.
He's post-suicide. This is what he is. He is post-suicide, I guess.
I know it's a crazy thought, but it's absolutely true.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, I mean, I just like that. That whole sequence. He's just at a loss. He tells her different things that'll happen in the diner. Hey, a waiter's gonna drop dishes in 10 seconds or 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. He drops the dishes.
That's a funny gag, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hey, pal, just leave that anywhere. Clapping.
Good old guy from the burbs.
Whoever he is, that was hilarious.
Oh man,
you had the name, but I don't.
Oh yeah, Chris Dunham. I
think that's it.
That guy. Yeah, I think that was about
definitely
accurate.
Him.
But yeah, great little sequence there. And then yeah, I mean, I think the turning point for Rita. She's like. And it's almost like a turning point for him because they still have a day together. He's not this point though. He's not really trying to sleep with her. He's not trying to be with her. He's just like
being real.
Yeah, just being real, being himself. And he realizes, I think this is the kind of the turning point. They're playing the game where they're flipping the cards in the hat.
Yeah.
And she falls asleep on him, and he tells her, I don't deserve you. And he's just saying, nice little things to her.
Funny little thing. She's waiting for midnight.
Yeah,
She's
like, where you didn't disappear? What's going on?
Like, hey, I didn't say midnight.
Yeah, I didn't say midnight. Yep. I guess it's exactly at 6 a.m. that he does this. Yeah, I think this is definitely the turning point for him. I think he realizes now that, I'm not in this for me. I'm in this for her. You think? I don't know.
I think it's about him. I think he's still working through what he needs to do.
Yeah. I mean, he's obviously, the main thing is he needs to be a better person.
Right. And until he solves himself, he can't be, for her.
Okay.
He's not available to her in that way.
Yeah, you're right.
That's what I think.
Yeah, I like that.
He's still fixing himself.
Right.
Simply memorizing her preferences is not nearly enough.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. So yeah, then what do we have next?
Yeah, the next one I have is
number 5.
Number 5, the old man death scene, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we see this beggar in the beginning when he passes by, he doesn't give him change, and then later on he actually does give him change.
Right.
And then he sees him in an alley later on in that night, that night. I guess it is that night, but thousands of nights later.
Thousands of nights later.
One night he sees the old man, I think he's coughing or labor breathing or doing something, just not doing well. Takes him to the hospital and he dies. Mm-hmm. And, Bill Murray just does not accept this.
No.
So he's like,
where's the charts?
Yeah, I want to fix what was wrong with him. He's like, it's just his time. Is what
Right.
the nurse says, I think. And then again, he tries to take care of this man, and then he takes him to the restaurant or cafe.
Yeah,
he's giving him like bowls of soup.
Yeah, he's like, oh, maybe
sandwiches.
food will help him.
Maybe he just needs to eat.
Yep.
Keep him warm. Still dies. So it's sad. He's like, breathe, just trying to keep this guy alive. But it really was his time.
Yep.
So, and the lesson here is, I think we're touching on just a minute ago, is that Phil realizes, or should realize, that he can't change anyone else, anything else.
Mm-hmm.
He can only change himself.
Yeah.
No matter how hard he tries to alter this universe he's in, even though he's there, he can't stop what they're doing,
Right.
or what's going to happen. He can only fix himself.
Yeah, you can't control others. Some things you can't stop. You know,
that's
some
life
things are
anyways.
inevitable. Yeah.
This is like one of the life lessons.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he had to go through it in this way.
Right.
So, in a very sad way, because you feel sad for the poor guy. You know,
Yeah.
he's just, that really just was his time.
Yeah, definitely. Because he takes the old guy in, that first night, and the next time he's like, okay, maybe you just need some food.
Right.
He's trying.
It shows the growth of the character.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
think I feel frustrated for him because
Yeah.
he's like, look, the Phil of the beginning didn't give this guy a second glance and wouldn't have gave two craps if he died.
Right.
And here he is doing all he can to keep this man alive, and he cannot change it.
Yeah.
That's it's set in stone. So again, it's not about, I guess that's the thing, it's not just about doing good deeds.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the lesson either. He's got to fix himself.
Yeah. It's all about that. Because how are you going to help others if you can't even be a good person yourself?
Exactly.
So yeah, great themes in this movie. Again, this is a comedy, folks.
There's actually a lot of laughs, but it's hard to convey the laughs.
Right? Yeah. Exactly. It's again, it's not slapsticky. It's just fun lines here and there. It's just it's
a funny movie with good stuff. It's not nonsense.
Right.
It is the really good story. That's, I think, to the credit to Harold Ramis. Doing all this, working in these these deep ideas and themes. But you laugh through I'm pretty much smiling through the whole movie, other than a few dark parts.
It's such an enjoyable watch.
Yeah.
Like it's just so rewatchable. But yeah, there's obviously great lines. What if there what if there is no tomorrow? There wasn't one today. I love that little line, which isn't necessarily a comedy line, but anyways.
But the way he delivers it is, I would have to just reiterate, it is probably Bill Murray's best movie.
Yeah.
Definitely.
For sure.
So let's round this thing out.
Let's round it out.
Take 6.
Our number 6 favorite moment of the film is basically the end. The party scene.
Yeah.
He's finally after this old man dying scene, he's like, all right, well, what else can I do? So he starts his day. He gives the great Groundhog Day speech. He got all the other newscasters around him as he gives this great speech about the groundhog, and he finally
somebody.
Yeah, quotes something, but he finally gives a good performance for everybody. He saves the kid from falling from the tree. He helps.
He's got this routine. He's like, does he say I have some chores to do or something?
Yeah. So right there, he doesn't focus on Rita. She's like, hey, what are you doing? What's going on? He's like, oh yes, we're gonna hang out tonight, but I got some stuff I got to do. So he's not focusing just on her. He's got to help other people. He's got to, and this is will ultimately better himself. He saves the kid from falling off the tree. And in this, I think even before this, he started to learn piano a little. So he's been going to the piano lady. And
that's a funny little scene where he meets the teacher. I have a student here, and he's like, I'll give you $1,000. And she's like, shut
$1,000. And I've always loved when he's playing a little, and she's like, this, you have no lessons, or I forget what she says. He's like, yeah, no, I haven't, haven't been had no lessons
formal
at all.
training,
but my father was a piano mover, so that was, my father was a piano mover,
that would translate.
Naturally. He helps old ladies with a flat tire, saves a man from choking, lights a lighter for a young lady, lighting a cigarette, plays piano.
He's like a superstar.
Yeah, exactly. And then so yeah, we get to this party that's at
Inside this hotel.
Inside this hotel. Real quick, is he the one that organized this party?
I don't know. I think it's going on every. Well, it does seem more full that time.
Yeah, because he's had the drinks with Rita in that same hotel bar, and it doesn't seem like there's
It's
any
not as
commotion
busy.
going around.
No.
So I was just curious if that was something
maybe there was a bit of
got together.
Yeah, in some way, just creating a buzz because
Yeah.
he stirred up this whole community.
Right.
So maybe all this little stuff he did. I guess that kid he saved falling out of the tree, that kid probably would have died.
Yeah.
But the old ladies in the car, they wouldn't have made it.
Right.
The guy who's his brother, he's a town something. He would have choked and died.
Oh yeah. So yeah.
So maybe all the good deeds that he did actually brought all of this together.
Yeah, because it's a little town, so a kid dying would have kept a lot of people from there. A man of the town, dying probably would have kept a lot of people.
That's
from
a good
there.
question, but I think that's probably what it is.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I love this because it goes into this thing, and Bill Murray's just there playing with a band. He's got these Ray-Ban sunglasses.
Yep.
It's just classic Bill Murray.
Classic Bill Murray.
It's just amazing. He's just playing in the crowd and doing his thing. I love it, and I also love that they're doing some kind of a fast-paced song, and then it stops, and then I think he starts playing the song that he learned.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. When he was in the piano lessons,
Trying to
song.
impress Rita,
Mm-hmm.
but then he stops it and leads it into a jazzy thing.
Yeah. Yep.
Now, I read too much into this, and I thought because this is all basically in a way an elaborate plan by Phil. Still, even though he's doing better, this is all still for Rita, in a way,
Yeah.
because he knows she's going to be there,
Right.
and I think he's been learning this song so that he can play it for her at some point, maybe
Yeah.
for this party. He starts the few notes, and I think that he chooses instead to not do this dramatic recital in front of her to impress her. He just moves on to a jazz number and keeps it light,
Yeah.
which she loves.
Yeah.
So he shows ability for a second and then goes on to something else that keeps it fun, so enjoyable for everyone else. It's not this because that would almost be like the older Phil trying to make
just
her,
focusing on her, just make her happy. Don't worry about anyone else. She's who I got my attention on right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. But yeah, this whole sequence. This is basically him getting his life back in a way. Him figuring out himself, doing all these great deeds.
They're dancing and all these people keep coming up to them.
Yep. Yeah. He's just like, what's going on? Like who?
I don't know who they are. Yeah.
I don't know who you are. And then so yeah, that basically, then so yeah, they have the bachelor auction, where the lady from the diner and basically Nancy are bidding for Bill Murray,
Right.
and then Rita comes in. And it's like $336.43. So
Is that
she
the
wins
last amount in her checkbook?
I guess I don't know.
It's like $300. Yeah, and change. Yeah, so that might have been all she had.
Why she can't just check her cell phone? Like what's she's using paper?
I know that's kind of weird. Yeah,
Which
What's
is
a checkbook?
I was in the grocery store today. I was right behind someone who used a check to pay.
Oh, how dare they? They still accept that?
Yeah.
That's
What is this?
invalid method of
Get
payment.
out of here.
What is this paper? Yeah.
So yeah, Rita wins Bill Murray, and then Sam Elliott gets up there and he's like,
Like 25
doing a
cents.
little twist.
Yeah.
Do. Then the old lady, 2 bits.
Yeah. So I didn't even know that because Danny says 25 cents. I didn't know that 2 bits were 25 cents.
Yeah, this
didn't know
is
that.
something you learn from this movie.
So does that mean a bit is 12.5 cents? I don't.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, that's so weird. 2 bits, 25 cents. We should change that.
Yeah,
Or check into this and see if this is accurate.
I got a real problem with this.
So yeah, him and Rita go out. He makes this ice sculpture for her.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
a beautiful ice sculpture. And then he wakes up. After this. And guess what? It's still Sonny and Cher, but it's a different part of Sonny and Cher.
She's in the bed
at 6 a.m. Yep, and Rita's in the bed with him. It's a beautiful moment. I like how excited he is. He gives her a little pinch. He's just like,
make sure
is this
it's
real?
real, yeah.
And it's I like how he said, today is tomorrow. It happened. Tomorrow happened. And it's just, fun, cool little line. Sometimes, we get these long days where we're just like, wow, I'm never going to get to tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, even, long points in our life where it's just like, what am I doing? What's going on? Like, this little lull you have in your life. And it's just like, you're trying to get to that place, but it's just like, how do I get there?
Yeah, Groundhog Day almost becomes, it's become the phrase for that thing, that rut.
Yeah, definitely.
Which we all get into.
Yeah, it's definitely a metaphor for that. I mean, it's got to be. I mean, it's just not just this random movie that they just, it'd be funny if this guy lives the same day over and over again. It's a lot deeper than that, which I really appreciate. When you're younger, you just get the comedy out of it. You're like, oh, that's a cool concept.
You like the gags and the funny remarks by Bill Murray.
Yeah, and something I used to say even when I was a kid, I would always say, hey, Dave, we never talk. You have kids? Like how he says with Sam Elliott, the cameraman. It's just this little tiny part, but that's how much this movie, stuck with me. I would always say lines for me. We never talk. You have kids? I would say that to my other kid friends.
He's being sarcastic.
Yeah, exactly.
100%, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's a terrific movie. Terrific movie.
That concludes our Take 6.
Take 6.
So let's move on to our final segment. Who's the idiot? Me or the movie? Now this is where we talk about our critiques, our questions, and our final thoughts, and our amazing proprietary rating system of popcorn and stars.
Popcorn and stars.
So I'll kick this off with a critique. I don't have much here. The only critique I really have of this movie is just the opening. Has a very 1980s feel.
Yes.
There's the music and in the van driving down the highway.
I'm your weatherman. I agree.
It's very dated.
Totally 90s feel at that beginning there.
The credits, very old. Yeah, I mean, that's really the only thing I have bad to say about it. And I guess it's just a product of its time. But to watch it now, it's just like, man, just get into the movie.
Yeah.
What are you waiting for here? I don't need to see the van driving for 30 miles.
I mean, I do like the when you first see him as the weatherman.
Yeah,
and,
that was good.
How he's able to do that. But yeah, okay. I got that.
It's just filler for throwing credits on the screen.
Right. Okay. I got you. What else? That's
the only critique I have.
Okay, critique.
Do you have any critiques?
Not necessarily critique. I mean, I guess kind of my question and critique. It's really nitpicking. Is just when he tries to, he figures out he's living the same day over and over again. He tries to go really fast through everything, but everything is still falling at the same spot. Like Ned Ryerson finds him. Am I right or am I right or am I right? He sees him, but if he was going that fast, he would have passed him before he even passed the street. So, I mean, certain things like that, it's like, I've always thought of this. It's just like, if he went that fast, but before he was just going at a normal pace, and that's why he ran into the folks when he did.
You're saying if Ned Ryerson's there at 7 a.m., if I just walk to the corner at 6:50, I'll not see...
Right, exactly.
Oh man, that's real nitpicky.
I know. I'm just saying.
Well, I guess you could see it in a different way, is that these are just set pieces, which they're like triggers. Maybe if he.
Okay.
I don't know.
Whatever.
It's just a movie, Ben.
Like I said, it's very nitpicky, but a little thing I noticed. I mean, yeah, but other than that, yeah, I mean, no real critiques. I can see what you would say about the '90s little opening and the song there. I guess one question I might have is, I did notice this time, when they first, they're trying to get through that blizzard and they're on the highway and everything. Yeah. It's snowing. He's on the phone. The shovel comes in and hits his head.
Right.
Hits him right in the head.
Bang.
Is this what starts this all? Is this, did he get knocked out and just imagine this all? Or is the bang in the head what caused this repetition?
That's a great question. Yeah, I don't have an answer to that, obviously, but...
Maybe because it was literally right before he woke up the next time,
and he
he just kind of looked and was like,
oh, that's a great call. Maybe that's what it was.
Yeah, that's because I've always been wondering about typically these kind of movies would touch on the fantasy element of it. There's this guy that comes in and says you're living the same day over and over because of this and blah blah blah.
Maybe it was the hit and the shovel.
Yeah, this movie doesn't have that, so I kind of took that as maybe that's just what it was and But
good one. Yeah, I like that.
Just something I noticed. But yeah, I mean, that's really the only question I had.
I have two questions.
Okay.
The first one, how long do you think he was in this time loop?
Oh, yeah, I was contemplating that as well. Yeah, I mean,
it's not days.
No, definitely not days.
It's not
I mean,
months.
not months. I mean,
we're in the years, I would think, right?
I'm sure you could physically count, exactly how many different days in the actual movie we see.
He's there far longer than the movie.
Maybe we see 50 different ones in the movie, you think?
That's 50 days.
Yeah.
But imagine, like, there's that...
No, I know it's longer than that.
50.
But...
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah.
Well, at least.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I think he...
Just
to learn the things he did about everyone in the diner when he's talking to her about, him being a god, to learn all those things.
Robbing the armored truck.
Yeah, robbing the armored truck. That had to take a long time. And then him saying all the times he was, just, he's burned, poisoned, things like that. At least...
I'm saying years here.
Years? Okay.
5, 10, 20 years.
Really?
This is like a purgatory, I think.
Okay.
I think he's here for so long. I mean, imagine, like, just to say, that you can just go back again to the... It's not just about learning personal details, but robbing the truck. I mean, he's there. This gust of wind, guy bends down, car. He's not worried at all. I mean, he just... How many times do you have to sit and watch that?
Yeah.
And that's just, like you said, that's just one day.
Right.
It's not like, you have to wait another 20... You got to sit... How many times do you have to do that? 2 months?
Yeah.
3 months? Just for one thing?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because, I mean, you got to time everything.
When do you notice the kid falling? When do you notice the old lady's getting his... I mean, I would think this would be so long.
Yeah.
Everyone in this town and what's going to happen throughout the entire town.
And even the Jeopardy stuff, him knowing all the Jeopardy answers. And
how many times do you sit and watch Jeopardy every day to know literally every answer? How many? I don't know how many there are in Jeopardy. Maybe it's 80.
Right.
He knew all 80.
Right.
And you have to not get one wrong.
That's true.
So there's at least... I don't know.
I mean, I would say about a year, but you're thinking...
I'm thinking many years, possibly.
Okay.
I think it got so bad. Well, that's what drove him suicidal.
Yeah.
How many times did he kill himself? Hundreds of times.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that's true.
I'm thinking like a long, long time he was trapped in here.
Interesting.
Like, I won't say a lifetime, but I think many years.
Yeah. Okay.
A few years at least.
Yeah.
It's not months.
No, it's not months. Like I said, at least a year. But yeah, I could see multiple years. I don't think 10 years. I don't think that
Just to
long.
do all the stuff that he had to do, I'm saying. Knowing where the wind's going to blow at, 2:14 p.m.
Good call.
And doing all that stuff.
Right,
So that's I don't know that there is an answer, but
right. No, it's a good call. Yeah, it's interesting to think about, that's for sure.
The other question I had is, I don't think the movie makes this obvious, and this is probably, I don't know if there is an answer, but we did hit on it. What exactly did he do to break the time loop? I mean, specifically.
I think he was just completely selfless. That's kind of what I thought initially. He was just completely selfless. When you look at what he did, prior, for things to not work.
Because Rita calls him an egomaniac, or narcissist, or something like that.
Yeah, narcissist, and you get that as an audience. You get that from him. I think he became totally selfless. Because even at the times, he was doing good things, but like when he grabs Ned Ryerson and just kind of hugs him or even punches him, when he punches him, he does, still does good things that day. But when he embraces him,
creative way
he's like, you think you can call in to work? He like embraces him. I love that. But I don't know.
It doesn't spell it out, which I like.
Yeah, no, I like it too.
But I kind of landed on the same thing. I think it's basically he let things slow down for him. He reduced his ego.
Right. Yeah.
He kind of lived not in the moment. It's not what I want to say, but he let life. He took a second and wasn't crazy about, because when you first see him, he just wants to get out. He wants to go back to being the douche that he is. So I think maybe just stripping his ego all the way. It's not meditative, but the way it's just being calm. There's like a finding peace within himself. I guess is what I would say.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know if that's a specific. I can't say when that happened exactly. Obviously, it happened that night.
Right.
But he did find inner peace. I think that's my answer.
Yeah, I would agree too. Because I mean, even the ice sculptor thing. I mean. Because that was in The Last Day. He's kind of showing her. I don't know. Yeah, it's interesting to think about, but yeah, I always just took it. He's selfless, He's learned to not only think of himself but think of others, and when he was doing good things with Rita, he learned that still can't just focus on one person.
Right.
Need to better
doing
everybody.
things because I want to do them because I feel good doing them.
Yeah.
Not without other motivation or expecting something back from someone else.
Or maybe this town has some sort of magical aura around it, and this town would have fallen apart if this guy choked to death. His brother who plays that guy. If he would have choked to death, the town would have went nuts. So somehow
he was sent.
He was sent there to figure this out, to fix the town, because otherwise Punxsutawney would be no more.
Yeah, how would you have the Groundhog come out on the 2nd of February?
You wouldn't.
That seems to be it.
All right, we figured it out. I think that's it.
To save Punxsutawney.
To save Punxsutawney, that's it. All right, so that's basically when we got our final thoughts and ratings. I gave my final thoughts basically. I think it's just a great study on, just like I said, when you're living the same day over and over again, which he is, kind of feels like that lull in life sometimes you get in where you're just like, man, just like I'm, going nowhere. Like this is all I've got, and then it's just like once you finally overcome that, it's like, wow, this is the end of a really long day, or just like a period in time in my life. So I just like that at those aspects, and just Bill Murray is just a genius behind the camera, and just love him. So like I said, gave my final thoughts already, but what you and I guess I'll give my rating and then let you give your final thoughts and rating. I give this movie a 3.5 star and 4 buckets of popcorn, because this is just so entertaining. It's just there's nothing about this movie where I'm just like I'm ever bored. Even I'm not gonna lie, I'm your weatherman song at the beginning that felt too 90s to you. That's just me getting ready for the movie. I'm like, all right, here we go, getting into some Groundhog Day. That's how I feel about that, but gotcha. To each their own. But yeah, 4 buckets of popcorn just because of the entertainment factor, and just I never get bored watching this movie.
Yeah, I agree. I think I said earlier, I'm watching this movie, other than the dark moments, I'm watching this movie with a smile on my face the whole time. It's really enjoyable. I like the character arc. It's a love story, but also a personal story.
Right.
And this is just a classic. It is an absolute classic. So that's all I got. My rating is I've got 4 buckets of popcorn like you, and 3 stars.
Okay. I like it. Yeah. That's why I had it in my top 5 films of the 90s, because again, it's not just, this comedy that's just a popcorn flick. It's also a good film. It's
great movie.
Great writing.
Yeah.
Great direction, great acting. So that's what we have for Groundhog Day. I love this movie.
Me too. Glad we did this one.
Want to go watch it again.
I know.
Can't believe, 1993.
Long time ago.
But all right, well, that is basically our show. Be sure to subscribe to us on iTunes, subscribe to us on YouTube. Make sure to give us any suggestions, any thing you want, any movies you want us to analyze on the show. Feel free to submit that on Twitter at BlockbusterCast, and we'll be happy to just make you folks happy.
Yeah, tell us and we'll do it.
Yes. Build it and they will come. All right. Davo, as always, it's been a pleasure.
Absolutely.
All right, folks. That is it for us. Another episode of Blockbuster Mentality in the books. So grab your popcorn. Grab your snacks. We'll catch you guys
in the movies.
All right.